What's up guys, Cut Protagonist here. Today I'm doing an all new deck profile on my friend's Yes Rensama deck, aka the Spectral Diablo deck. This deck has been working amazing. Oh my god, it's finally we finally got a resending Vanguard, which is Spectral Blaster Diablo. Its name is really hard to say, and I'm really glad they revamped the whole Gold Paladin series into the Shadow Paladin series. It's like they recruited the Gold Paladins back to Shadow Paladins after the whole Cray Wars. So yeah, my friend will be doing the deck profile and he'll be explaining the effects since he's the owner. So let's go.
I'll try to explain as accurate as possible. Alright, please. We'll play 4 copies of the new GBT-06 card, Woving of Darkness, Vladimir Diablo. It's a very good card. What it does is that as a GP2, when choose one of the rear guard and retire it. When a G4 Diablo card is struck onto it, right, you may pay the cost. Okay, if you do right, you may search your deck for one Great 1 card and call it to a rear guard circle. That is 1 for 1. Next is that if the card named Spectral Blaster Diablo onto the Vanguard circle, you then search your deck for another Great 1 card and call it to a rear guard circle. And that unit called by this effect gain 3k until the end of the turn. So that means that if you write Spectral Diablo straight away, right, you set 1 for 1 first, then gain another 1 more for the second Great 1 card, and that second Great 1 card gain 3k until the end of turn. It's a very good setup because as Spectral Diablo you need to set 2 rear guards for the later on effect.
Oh wait, you're telling me that this card when you strike, right, you can gain 2 cards, 2 Great 1s?
2 great, set 1 gain 2.
Wow, also it's like the old Gold Paladin series, set 1 gain 2 lah.
Yes.
Wow, cool.
And when you, even if you don't strike Spectral Diablo, right, you can also strike the very own first Diablo card, which is a PB Diablo, Phantom Blaster. So you can also just pay 1 for 1 lah. Normally when you want to set away the Black Wing Swordbreaker, right, then for better cards later on. True. It's 1 for 1. It's a great alternative as a Strider under GP2.
So his skill is basically when you perform strike on
a Diablo strike.
Yeah, Diablo strike, you can sack 1 to search 2 cards.
1 or 2 lah.
1 or 2. So it's 1 for Phantom Blaster Dragon and 1 for Spectral 2. 2 for Spectral 2. Yep.
The second effect is pretty awesome in my opinion. When this unit enter the Vanguard circle, you may pay the cost of Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. If you do search your deck for 1 Great 1 card, call it to a rear circle and shuffle your deck. Very simple because that as a generic, those generic cards that you saw from other cards are either common or rare. But this card as a triple R itself is pretty awesome. Not just because of this effect, and it's because of his later on setup for GP2.
Yeah, because he got the strike ability, so you're consistently riding into good stuff.
Yeah, sack and call. I'll tuck them all later for a combo.
Okay.
Of course, Rensama's Avatar, Blaster Dark W. Very good card. As a GB2, whenever you pay the cost for striding to ride a strike blaster unit, any card that you strike, right, will gain +3. So you can, as long as when you are GB2, right, you may use your trigger and strike it straight away because you get as +3 as a blaster unit. Phantom Blaster, Spectral Blaster straight away. It's a great card because the Blaster Dark finally has its more alternative to strike for G4. Then the second effect is the very straightforward version for when you strike Phantom Blaster Diablo. Over this card, you choose 1 opponent rear guard and retire it, setting up for Phantom Blaster Diablo effect later to force your opponent to retire more rear guard or eat his crit. That's all.
Yes, very nice.
Now Blaster Dark has more friends. Of course, with new friends comes new power. I'll move on to the Great 2s. 2 units of Darkness Maiden Matcha, the Legend deck. What it does is that when this unit attacks a Vanguard and is boosted, you may Counter Blast 1, search your deck for 1 Great 1 and below card, call it to a rear circle and shuffle your deck. Good for setting up to set those Great 1 card like Charon to sacrifice later. Simple as that. I'll play the Blaster Dark's friend this time round. 4 copies of Doreen. My opinion for playing this card is that it's a very basic attacker because when this unit attacks a Vanguard, right, as a GB1, if a Vanguard is a Blaster unit, that means Spectral Blaster, Phantom Blaster, or even Blaster Dark, right, he will gain 2k power, so it's an 11k attacker. Then the second effect is that when this and one more, and if this unit is boosted by a Doreen card behind, right, you may counter charge 1 also. So it's a very good card because that when you have a Doreen and a Claudius behind in front of Doreen, right, it became a counter charge 1 for 1 attack. Yeah, because Blaster deck itself is a very counter blast heavy deck, so you need the counter charge to save yourself up later.
That's true.
And with the Doreen card, and need not to mention, Doreen card when boosted by Claudius, right, became a whole row of 15k column guard.
Yes.
I'll talk that more later. I'll play 4 copies. I'll play 4 copies of the new Vladimir partner, Hien. Hien is a very good card in this set because that as a GB1, right, what it does that when other grade 1 card appear to the rearguard circle, need not to be just normal core or superior core, right? And you have a Diablo Vanguard in his name. That means your whole deck, your grade 3 must be a Diablo card already straight away, Vladimir or Blaster Dart. You may choose one of this unit and gain 3k. Choose one of your unit, it gain 3k until the end of turn. And that if one more thing is that if that grade 1 card caught, right, is called the grade 1 Karadin, right, which is this card, it gain one more effect. You can soul charge 1 and counter charge 1 because it's another good card because of its counter charge card because you need the counter blast later on. And it stacks because that as long you call any grade 1 card, right, it gain 3k for this unit and that unit. Sorry, it's both units. Vanguard and this unit itself gain 3k, so it can stackable as long as you call grade 1 onto the field during that turn.
So for example, let's say you strike into Phantom Blaster Diablo over Vladimir, you can call 2 units, so you gain plus 6k for both units.
Correct.
Wow, that's very strong.
That's why Vladimir is, although has sacrificed for new cards, right, they have more power boost and even have the ability to counter check and soul charge to set up for more things.
Very
strong. That's why I'll play 4 copies of this card.
Yep.
And I'll play 1 tech card of this card, Dark Saga Painter.
Dark Saga.
Remember the Nightmare Painter, right? She has evolved.
I used to use her in my Shadow Paladin deck long.
Yeah, just for the soul.
Put the soul in to
you
get
have a PBD. Yeah. It's a very good card. What it does is, as a GB1, when this unit appear to the rearguard circle, if your Vanguard is a W in his name, you may pay the cost of, you may draw 1 card, discard 1 card, then you draw 1 card, then discard 1 card. It's just a filter lah, simple as that.
Yep.
Then in continuous effect in the deck itself, when this unit is in the deck, right?
Yep.
If your Vanguard is a W Vanguard, right? This unit Grado become -1. It's treated as a -1. It's a grade 1 as long as it's in the deck.
Okay, you can search out with Matcha and all these lah.
Correct.
Oh,
and
bad.
Even Vladimir and W. Yep.
Yeah.
Of course you can ignore the GB1 if you want to just to search for more pals because it's a grade 1 card in the deck and when you have a W Vanguard.
So just in case you want to call some interceptor with your skills, your strike skills, right, you can still call him out.
Yes.
Very good.
It's a very that's why I'll play 1 tech card because there's sometimes you just need that extra cards.
It's like how I play Tech Gao lah. Play
Tech
1.
Gao lah.
Because we can search, we got so much search power, so 1 copy is enough.
Yeah, it's a grade 2 intercept is good enough.
Yep, great card.
Alright, we'll move on to the grade 1s. Let's play the most necessity cards. The counter charge negates 4 copies, needless to say.
Yep.
Okay. And for Striders, right, 3 of it because you still need to strike for it to strike later on.
Yep.
3 copies. Now, here comes the interesting part. I'll play 2 copies of Claudius. What it does is that when this unit at the end of turn, right, if you control a Blaster Vanguard, right, it gains 2k power until the end of turn. And the next effect is when this unit is boosted by a boost by a Doreen in front, right, it gets 2k power until the end of turn. AKA, if 1 column, right, it's a 22k column, 15k to guard.
15k guard.
Yes, 15k to guard plus 1 counter charge.
Very nice.
Simple as that. I'll play 2 copies. Then I also play the new set for the GBT-06, the Karadin, the partner for Vladimir. It's a very good card. I'll play 4 copies. That what it does is that GB1, when this unit, when the unit is gonna be retired by your card effect, right? AKA that means those sacrificing unit. If this card from rear guard put into drop zone, right? And you control a Diablo Vanguard, choose one of your Vanguard, it gains 5k power until the end of turn. Whoa, very strong, right?
So when you sack for Diablo will gain another 5k, is it?
Correct.
Ooh, free trigger, nice.
So if you sack 2 of the card thing, right, you gain 10k straight away.
Nice.
Phantom Blaster Diablo neatness to say,
Yeah.
And gain one more effect is that, your Vanguard will gain one effect is that, when your Vanguard attack hits, right, you search your deck for one grade 1 card and call it to the rear guard circle. That means that you gain your power, Vanguard later attack hits, right? Search your deck for one grade 1 card, call it to the rear guard circle, and then call it the rear circle and shuffle the deck. Next is that if you control the grade 2 Hien, right, on the field, right, during this turn, you also gain this Hien also gain 5k also until the end of turn also. So it's basically a wombo card for Diablo, Spectral, Diablo, and Cardin and Hien also.
I see.
Power sacrificing the grade 1s, gain power to Vanguard, attack hit Vanguard, call one grade 1 card. Call one grade 1 card, Hien combo activate. If you call itself again, you do all the necessary plus 3k, counter charge 1 and all the stuff.
Oh, that's very powerful. So with his skill, he can also superior call one more unit, right?
Correct.
So it'll be 2 units for free.
There's a lot of things you can do, right? It's a power up adder even during battle phase.
Wow.
Replenish, get more power, counter charge, and all the stuff.
Very nice.
That's why this card I will play 4 of it, because of its, you gain your Vanguard power and at the same time potentially call more rear guards for more rear guard attack later.
Nice.
I'll play 4 copies for this time round simply because of its combo. Of course. Yeah, this explanation makes it quite pretty messy, right? I'll play this one new card. I let Jun to explain better.
Alright,
Twitter.
his name is Twitter Run. Okay, the reason why we play this card, right, is because, okay, there are times where you actually fight against Ripples and they still go their great lot stuff. Okay, Ripples are, although they get hit, but they are not totally dead. However, with Twitter Run, we only play 1 copy of it. So, for example, if you are using Vortimer skill, when you write Vortimer, you can activate his skill by
Counter.
if you encounter Ripple deck or grade 2 lock deck, right? Yeah, you fight against those decks, you can write Vortimer, Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, search for any grade 1. It doesn't specify Shadow Paladin, so you can search him, put here, and oh yeah, you want to play Great Lock? Oh come on man, Great Lock me for.
Yeah, I draw more cards.
Yeah, the reason why it's good in this deck, especially this deck, is because you can search it out. Okay, in other decks it's not that good because you are unable to search out, but you can tech it in. This is what makes Shadow Paladin a really competitive deck, because it's able to it's flexible in any situations. So even if you fight a Great Long deck, your opponent is still screwed because you still have Twitter Runs to activate all your skills. Yeah, good luck Repose.
And it became a GB1.
Yeah.
Remember, once it become a G unit, right, all your GB1 cards can be activated.
Yep.
Say your Matcha, your Hien, and your Kaladins, and yeah.
His skill is to put itself into the G zone face up.
Yep. As when your opponent doesn't write any card during the last turn, you can put it straight away, and you get to draw 1 card also.
Yeah. So
and put into G zone, right? It considered as a G unit, so it's a GB1.
Yeah.
So all your GB1 stuff, right? Say hi man, I'm gonna do more combo and whack you more.
Yeah, amazing card in Shadow Paladins. I will definitely be taking one in all Shadow Paladin deck, just in case I plan to Repose. Repose are still there.
Yeah, Voldemir has made grade 1 cards very consistent in Shadow Paladin deck, so good that you can even play Clear Elementals in this time round.
True.
Okay, with that said, I'll move on to triggers. 8 criticals, as always. Shadow Paladin, critical 2 wins.
Unicorn.
Yeah,
I like unicorns.
Yeah, why? They borrow, copy and paste Angel Feathers?
Yeah, it looks like the Angel Feather one, right?
Yeah,
it's like he fly into Shadow Paladin.
Fly. Magao-san?
Magao-san. Yeah, Magao is good because you get the free soul and your cost. Sometimes you might need your soul.
And you might even 3k for rear guards.
Yeah, magic numbers.
Doge.
Yes, best Doge, best heal.
Although there's a new heal trigger.
That's cute lah.
Okay lah.
This is the cutest heal.
Okay lah.
The starter.
And I'll play okay, for this time round the starters got a lot of options, but I'll still play this one.
Yep, I understand. Because the other one is unless you play Blaster Dark Spirit, then you can use, right?
Yeah, or
you
can even play David if you want to play Sacrificial. But I think that this deck doesn't need a lot of Sacrificial stuff because you can set away your Great Ones and call back Great Ones later. So maybe Maron and Charon may not be okay lah, but you still can search for this card.
True.
Yeah.
You can still search for your
Blaster Duck.
Yeah, Blaster Duck to Rage.
So
Rage is for the
yes, you can search your Blaster Duck straight away if you don't feel like riding Voldemir after your turn 3 or something.
True.
Alright, let's go move on to our PvP.
Strike.
Yeah, our Strido. Okay, I'll play 4 copies of this badass guy. Dark Dragon, Spectral, Blaster, W. Blaster, W. Yeah, that's why he's so good, because he has Blaster in his name.
Yeah.
Okay, what it does is that as a turn 1 activate effect, that means you can only activate during main phase. So blast 1, choose 1 G unit, turn down face start and turn in face up. So it can be anyone.
Anyone?
Yes, you can even turn your poor PBD also lah. If you don't feel like killing him.
True.
Okay, then the effect is that you can choose 1 rear guard and retire. Choose 1 card and retire. So obviously you can choose those not so useful rear guards and retire them as always. And again, until the end of turn, you gain the effect as turn 1 GB3, counter blast 2, choose 2 of your rear guards and retire it. At the end of battle, this unit attack Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand this unit, and if you stand it, you gain -2 dry catch. Same as the very good old Spectral Duke Dragon. Yeah. That means technically it's just sacrifice 3 cards, restand again, become single drive. And he has an additional effect that if your Vanguard has a W in his name, which obviously your Blaster Duck or Voldemir, you can search your deck for 1 grade 1 card, call it to the rear guard circle, and shuffle your deck.
So basically you're only losing 2 cards for a super restand.
Yeah.
Is it very worth it? It's only 2 cards. It's very cheap.
Even if you're not able to hit GB3, right?
Yeah.
You can do all the shenanigans like those Blackwing Swordbreaker using Voldemir, then strike Spectral Blaster, then sack away the Blackwing Swordbreaker and call another useful grade 1 like Kaladin.
Yeah, true.
You can get a lot of. It's a very flexible card as this card makes Shadow Paladin very noteworthy.
Okay, you guys may think, so -2 drive checks. Okay, if you think about it, right, if you didn't -2 drive check, this card is too overpowered and it will get banned. Okay, and you think about it, it's still gonna be, it's the same, it's still, no offense on the Dot lovers, it's still better than Dot, okay? Because Dot requires you to discard a specific card, whereas, and he gets 4 drive check total, you're also getting 4 drive check in total. So this card is actually very, very good.
Yeah, you can got those Maron and the David starter to treat as one for 2.
Sacrifice. So it's very
versatile.
Yeah. It's very good, not broken. You don't want you have enough broken cards in the game already.
1 Green Recruiter, attack card, very good card. Why attack hit, search your 1 for 1 grade 1 card.
Yep.
Well, now I realize that all the Shadow Paladin have this tag word grade 1, grade 1.
You didn't know?
I don't know. I thought that I can call grade 2 and above. I'll play 1 copy because it's a very versatile card. And interestingly, I'll play 3 copies of Phantom Blaster W. Okay, why 3? Because of Blaster Duck. Because let's say if you have a very bad situation that opponent swarm your field, right? And you don't feel like you want to use his counter blast first as a first strike, right? You just want to strike Phantom Blaster, bomb his key rear guard.
Yeah, you don't have to use the counter blast skill and unflipping skill to do the retire. So you can just strike 3 times. If you feel like you have the throw, you can just strike 3 times just to burn 3 rear guards of your opponent.
Very versatile, right?
Yeah.
Just burn him away, man.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like...
Either way, if your opponent at 4 damage, he's going to perfect guard anyway. If you know you perfect guard, just straight, okay, come. Okay, I do again.
Do again.
We're going to perfect guard.
That's why it makes Shadow Paladin so flexible this time round.
Yep.
Of course, you still won't forget is turn 1 effect is that turn counter blast 1, turn itself face up, and 2 face G unit face up, gain 10k, 1 crit, and sacrifice 3 cards to force your opponent retire 2 more rear guards until end of turn. If not, you get prepared to wreck and die.
Yeah, this card punishes opponent that forgot to put core rear guards like card protagonists. Card protagonists always forget to put rear guard, then you die.
Oh no, not so bad.
Yeah,
no, never mind, you still got your new Neta to save you.
Yeah, lucky my dragon heal. Lucky I got heal, I'm screwed. So I hope you guys enjoyed my friends Wei-Yes Ransom deck. Be sure to add me on Facebook and subscribe for more deck profiles upcoming. Peace out and love you guys. Rawr.